Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a stunning one today. I don't know why, but I just started getting sweaty. Like all of a sudden got hot in here for absolutely no reason. I don't know. Like as soon as I pressed the record button, I just felt this little stuffiness come in here. Anyways, you're not here to talk about a climate report for me. Today, we're going to be listening to The Clash. We're going to listen to this track, Stay Free. This is off of their album, Give 'Em Enough Rope, their second studio album, released in 1978. We're listening to this track because it was suggested and sponsored by Jonathan. Jonathan, thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for the recommendation. Let's see quickly if anyone else has recommended this one. I haven't looked it up really quick. GP Reactions, RHCPLVR, I see you there as well, M. Kelly, and Lord Elpis. Thank you guys so much as well for the suggestion. Can I tell you? I've never seen, I'm just speaking for myself. You guys definitely could have mentioned it, but I don't recall seeing this album cover. I don't recall ever hearing about this album. It doesn't look familiar to me at all, but it's kind of an interesting album cover. That's all I got to say. It's interesting. Not good or bad, just catches the eye. Let's go ahead and listen to the track. We'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go. Paul's bass.
We weren't fools. A teacher says we're done. We're only having fun. You know it kissed on everyone in the classroom.
That's the Clash, man.
When we got thrown out and left without much fuss.
Paul's bass.
At weekends we go dancing down Strelm on a bus. You always made me laugh, got me in bad fights, play me cool all night, smoking menthol. I practice daily in my room.
Guitar comes in there.
You were down the crowd planning your next move. Go on a licking spree. It's the wrong guy. Each of you get free. Using Brixton.
Love that way it brings down.
I did my very best to write.
Right? Throwing a little bit of an acoustic in there at the very end. Okay, this is a phenomenal track from the band. What I really like about this one is the structure. The way that they build up the song in the verse, which it's just verses in this track. I like how they build it up a certain way. Da, 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 da. I'm going way high. And then the end, that hesitation, da, 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 which is always a stinger. There's always like this little stinger at the end of each of the stanzas there. And then the kind of mute the strings a little bit and bring it back up. So it's like they constantly, during the verse, they start off on the bottom of the pot. They toss in the water, turn it on high, and the pot begins to boil. That gets the top. It's about to overfill or over spill, and then da 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 da, and they pull it back down, and then they build it back up to a boil. It's just really cool how they do that. And so the track has this really nice cyclical, not only musically, but lyrical kind of nature in the way that it builds up, it comes down, it builds up, it comes down, it builds up, it comes down. And then at the end of all that, the last lines there, let me pull it up here really quick. He says, but go easy, step lightly, stay free. Three pieces of advice, 3 lines, and there's a little bit of a quiet kind of respect given at those 3 lines, kind of away from the story a little bit, and a little bit more of a serious light is shed there, and then the music changes. And then it becomes a little bit more free, a little bit unfettered, unchained, unrestrained, whatever other word you want to use in this. And I really like how they just play off of that. It's just really, really wonderfully done from a structural point of view, right? And then we're not even talking about the music here. Paul Simonon. Oh, his bass line is dominating this particular track. I love how strong-headed it is. I love how the production pulls it up very much so in front of us. And it is just a strong rhythm with a great flow the way that he plays there. I see that in this track, it's going to be guitarist Mick Jones who's singing here. And he sounds great. And I'm assuming that it's going to be Strummer perhaps doing some of those backing vocals that are right behind him. And like just a great pairing from the two. Just really fantastic. Topper, drumming like fun. Especially when it gets to that change where he kind of jumps into those 16th notes on the hi-hat and then just kind of goes on from there. And what I also enjoy is relating to the structure, again, kind of coming back to that, the way that, the music builds up, then it pulls it back down. When it gets to that hesitation moment, pretty much it seems like every single time that after he does da-da-da-da-da, that he has that little vocal isolation for a moment. When the music comes back, there's a new element that's added, whether it's a little subtle thing from the guitar. There's a little bit of organ back here as well. It seems like there's always these little things that are just added in to kind of keep it fresh as we go through this track. This was a really, really fantastic one. It says that even though it's uncredited, you have Bob Andrews on the keyboards in this particular track. And looking at Mr. Andrews, he's played with a lot of people. I'm trying to see who that we may know. Nick Lowe, I love the sound of breaking glass. I see it. And that's all I see, like on a quick look that we would know. Let's look at the lyrics on this one. We met when we were at school. Never took anything from no one. We weren't fools. The teacher says we're dumb. We're only having fun. We piss on everyone in the classroom. When we got thrown out, I left without much fuss. And weekends we'd go dancing down Streatham on the bus. You always made me laugh, got me in bad fights, played me pool all night, smoking menthols. Like, see what I mean? Like, I love how he just pauses and gives a little more attention to the end of the lines there. Listen, sometimes you have that friend in school that may not be the best influence. I remember in I never forget it's a great time though. In school, I'm talking high school, I was a great kid, very well behaved, respectful to myself, the ideal student. But one of my friends, his name was Mike, he was like complete opposite, talked back to the teacher, disrespectful, but man, was he funny. And oh, those are good times. I practiced daily in my room. You were down the crown planning your next move. Go on a nick and spree and hit the wrong guy. Each of you get 3 years in Brixton. At least he wasn't involved. I did my very best to write. How was Butlin's where the screw's too tight? When you lot get out, we're gonna hit the town. We'll burn it down to a cinder. He's saying, listen, I'll wait for you on the other side. And when you get out, oh, we're gonna have a great time, just like old times. Because years have passed and things have changed, and I move any way I want to go. And I'll never forget the feeling I got when I heard that you'd got home. And I'll never forget the smile on my face because I knew where you would be. And if you're in the Crown tonight, have a drink on me. And obviously, there's a lot of references to local areas that, of course, I wouldn't catch, but I'm sure many of you would. You know, Butlins and the Crown and Streatham and such. What is Butlins? How was the Butlins? Mick said as much during the 1979 performance in Chicago, where he explained the lyric. For the benefit of American fans, such as myself, this is the appendix. Butlins means the Nick. The Nick means the penitentiary. Screws refers to prison guards. The term is thought to have originated in Victorian England. See, sometimes us Americans need a little help. But then I like how after, he's reminiscing, saying that, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. He says, but, go easy. Go easy on me. Our lives have been different and gone in different directions. Maybe you're a little of a harder man, so to speak. Just go easy on me. Step lightly. Listen, we don't need to go crazy. I know we said we're going to burn this town to a cinder, but maybe burn the town is a little heavy-handed, a little strong-armed. Maybe let's give it a little light. But stay free. I think there's a few different meanings on that one. Stay free. Let's not end up back in Butlins. Let's not end up back in the penitentiary with whatever we're going to do in our activities. But be yourself. Stay free. Stay true to yourself, and be who you are. That's at least how I read this one. I saw that there was some information here on this one. Mick Jones wrote this track for Robin Crocker, a boyhood chum who fell in with the wrong crowd and ended up serving time for robbery. Crocker spoke about the tender punk ditty, an album cut that holds a special place in the discography. Somebody once told me it's the most outstanding heterosexual male-on-male love song, and there's a lot of truth in that. It's a memento of a glorious band, a glorious time, and a glorious friendship. He says, unfortunately, if Robin had only taken the advice, unfortunately, I didn't stay free. I did a wages snatch in Stockholm and got banged up again. Well, sometimes those old habits, I suppose, die a little hard. Let me know what you guys thought, of course, of the track in the comments down below. Jonathan, thank you so much for the suggestion. Thank you guys so much for the support as well. I really appreciate that. Please enjoy the rest of your night, your evening, your morning, your afternoon, or whatever time it may be in between. And I will see you all later. Bye, guys.